Well, as we're sitting here at LTV on early afternoon of Monday, November 27th, year 2023, here with the Hello Hello show that's been on the air since 1980. Of course, not to fail to mention the contribution by Fraser Dougherty, Francis Ann, and of course the likes of you out there that make it your business directly and indirectly, knowingly and unknowingly, to enhance and fortify the concept of public access. And only God knows that we really need that level of coherence as we witness it through public access, because the basis of public access really always takes you to the extreme of the practice of, will, choice, lifestyle, dignity, and all of the infrastructure that goes into putting together a neighborhood with people that can really understand the concept of live and let live, and and putting art and the artistic process in the forefront, and that I find, for some reason, the easiest thing to do, I find, for people to be the most difficult things for them to do. It's interesting. And uh, and that would be, I remember before I ever dared to approach a canvas and to claim in any way, shape, or form that I'm about to become an artist, or maybe I can feel like an artist, but really the end results were to my limited knowledge, and I ignored the fact that my knowledge was limited, so I couldn't even judge myself accordingly or properly or decently. But at the end of the day, you really have to rely on yourself. You have to rely on the fact that you have to take the answers to the questions that are important, that stand as a condition for the process to be ignited in the first place. So it's got to pass a certain test. I mean, even if it's just like a very basic test, or one that doesn't make sense at all, but the process itself needs it in order to fuel some kind of common sense to become the that which is enough to at least carry us to step two and three, and so much more. Public access is always not only a reminder, but I think quickly enough it becomes a way of life. And you don't have to spend 7 days a week here at this entity in order to find yourself feeling like that, because it only takes one channel that kind of you can find something that is rare and worthy of attention in that particular engagement or experience, and you have the taste of more, but you are able to treasure it so you can serve your needs and your purpose and your goal, and that it would last, and in addition to that, a um, a frame of mind that guarantees in more ways than one, and put at the first level of attention the ingredients that are actually responsible for this vehicle to run, and preferably uh, fluently and smoothly any which terrain that will be under discussion. That ride must be fluent and accommodating all that which is being in front of us, anticipating our arrival. So anyway, as I mentioned, Monday early afternoon, November 27th, year 2023, here with the Hello Hello Show. My name is Haim Mizrahi. We are getting ready for a show now. In the next 3-4 days, we have the monthly art shows here at the corridors of LTV, and this has been at least 26 years that I've been doing it. And of course, I cannot not reminisce and think about Sabina um, um, Hindra, that initiated so many wonderful things that still I feel and reminded by them today, that many years later. So she had her spirits, she has a enthusiasm, capability, and at least a, a certain level and degree of appreciation to to be able to do what she did. But that carries 3 decades almost, and we have monthly uh, uh, group art shows. Sometimes it's two, or sometimes it's four, sometimes we even had 7 to 8 artists here showing at the same time. This particular one for the month of December and a few weeks of January, I think it's going to be on display for 6 weeks. Josh Dayton is going to be here with us. Really uh, exciting painter, to say the least. And Steve Lotion, obviously, for me, Steve Lotion is a good friend. Known him since the early days of the Talk House, and just a delightful friend, and a real friend, a good friend. So Josh Dayton, uh, Steve Lotion, and I'm just going to show one large scale that I'm kind of still working on it, but it's coming because I would have to build the frame here. I think it's going to be a 17 footer. So this is going to be on display until the third week of January, and we're going to have an opening first week of January. But still, nevertheless, LTV is open for all of you out there Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and you can check the display of this exhibition. The subtitle, um, since I'm still working on the title, dreamlike, and I wanted to offset it with a word that will give it some um, that will give it some justification to be a part of the title. The title is important. I think it's important. Maybe if I want, because I'm with this show, I'm taken by the letter D. So I was thinking to myself, the letter D, and it's almost when you think about it long enough, you realize that you're thinking about the letter D as a part of the beginning of the title of your show, and you search and you search and you search and you search, and right at the brink of finding out exactly what what the word is, you are also tackled by a reality that suggests to you that who says that it needs to be D. So you're thinking about D, 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 and then you uh, ending up with the letter J, and then uh, and then you realize that it's a tough letter. What name that can come other than the cliche aspect of joyous and joyful uh, um, okay. So then you think and you think and you think and you realize that you're so limited that actually you come to another conclusion, which is the same as the first one. Who says that I need to stay within this so close by proximity to the letter J? And before you know it, it's uh, and for some reason it's attracted to the letter C. No, sorry, H. The letter H. And then and then the first word that comes to your mind is hover. Uh, and of course, there's hope and high and hip and hard and have not and heat and hot and uh, hospitable house. Uh, and so much more really when you think. But then you want to give it an extra time, so you add 1 minute, and you start going back to uh, start going to the letter before. So you're going from G to H and giving yourself an extra minute. So it's G to H was explored. So G would be um um almost like a ghost play. That's a direction. So then we go to the letter P, and when we start playing ghost play, the P G, we didn't give up on the uh, we didn't give up on the S. Uh, and success, with the cliche aspect of successful as survival, service, sun, uh, so much life into it. But then still, you don't have the accent that will ground it dryly upon impact rather than allowing it to go sideways or any which other direction, and there's constant need for readjustments. That's why one cannot be one cannot be so it's S, but I didn't give up on G, and then I might consider H, even though it's almost like a shot um, attempt. So between H, G, and S, where do we want to go? Or would we allow ourselves a little more, maybe 1 more minute for the letter S? So seed, well, too trivial. Star, too cliche. All this attitude of substance and surplus and uh, sense. Yeah, sense is a good title, but it requires you to think a little more than you think you should. Since uh, past. Okay, so maybe the S is actually all about the S in the middle of a word that you want, like since. I had it and it went away. Had for the letter H. Well, maybe A. So H had away, and since uh, S at the middle of the word, since well, nonsense. No, nonsense cannot be a title. Yes, it can be. Okay, so nonsense as far as S. Now we're going to N, as in name. Still, I want to remain with the still to give it a little more fairness by way of um, continuing to contemplate. So since okay, then we have to go back to G. Um, It's so close. Oh my God. So G, we can go back to H, even though we know it's dead meat there. Um, host. Host. Okay, that's a good one. Host is a great consideration. Host. Host. Doesn't sound so bad. Host. Dreamlike. We got a good potential here for the next title of the next group art show here at LTV, starting this weekend, which is pretty much the first and second of and third of December, which is what is it? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I think. Unbelievable. Also, I really hope that you had a good Thanksgiving. And it's just kind of important in the kind of world that we're living in now to be able to celebrate and feel joyous. And so I hope you had that. I did, and all people that I know really did have a good holiday. And suddenly it's already December, and it's Christmas and Hanukkah, and wow, so much lights, so much wonder. So we love that. So we are trying to come up with the title for the next art exhibition. I'm actually doing the thing that I usually do in my head, uh, the journey to find a title. So I'm doing it actually live here on the air. So we came up with host, dreamlike, host, host, parenthesis, dreamlike, in parenthesis, yeah. Then we didn't get anything out of G other than a, a glimpse to cliche and trivial at the same time. How about a gust? A gust, is that a word? Like gust, like an eruption. Like, how about guys? Guys. Guise. Guys. Guise. Guys. Se. Let's see. That's gonna be good. Guys. Um, not guys. Okay. Okay. Guise. Yes. Yeah, common in the department of the House of France in northern, but I don't want that, guys. These guys. Okay, let's see. That's good. That's giving us the letter D. These guys. Okay. Okay, let's see. He is in disguise. I can't. Yeah, that's what I thought. If you're in disguise, you're not wearing your usual clothes, or you have altered. Okay, so guys from disguised. Guise. Guys. No, guised. 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 Okay. Guised. Yes, definition and use. Okay, that's good. Here, now we got. You know what, guys? I think we found the letter, the word. This is general external appearance, um, aspect, semblance, appearance and semblance, an old principle in a new guise. So here it continues to say, oh, I love that. Wait, assumed appearance or mere semblance under the guise of friendship. I love that. Wait, where are you going? What's going on? Okay, that's actually very good. That's what I thought. Okay, I don't want that. Okay. Hello. Okay, I got it. Make. I think we got our. Just give. Okay, I'm very, very impressed by your patience and all this, but life doesn't stop. So I think we got the title for the next group art show here at LTV. It's called Guys, Guise. But maybe I can add the letter D. Like, guys, good job. Subtitle Dreamlike. Josh Dayton is going to be here with us, showing, which I'm very much looking forward to it. And Steve Lotion, goes without saying too. As far as his paintings are concerned, they're solid and all this, so that's exciting in itself. And your humble servant here, I'm going to show one large scale, and I'm actually in the midst. I would say about 80% done of it. With it, it's a 16 footer, and I'm trying to insert that last message into the uh, a tremendous amount of layers that it accumulated so far. So that's pretty much in that sense. Uh, okay, so what is really helpful when you write poetry and you find yourself also a painter, so much that involves around um, the common dance between the two mediums things that you only need to find out because they already exist. At the end of the day, always find out that really, if there was anything that you have contributed, it's definitely not by creating something new, but by understanding in a certain way the nature of this union, this fusion, this coming together, and the relevance of it and the implications. So many things go unnoticed under our noses, and it, of course, everything is important. You need to know, especially when it comes to your immediate surrounding, the emotional surrounding, the spiritual surrounding, the religious surrounding, the social surrounding, the you name it. Um, so you need to have that kind of level of confidence. Um, so this duet, I usually don't drink a sugary beverages, but now I felt like drinking something that will certainly be sweet. So my last encounters with my attempt to get to know the livelihood and the character and style of life and chain of thoughts and habits in place and practices and devotion and experience of artists that you knew you always admired, whether you knew why or not, whether you could explain exactly what it is or not, but you know about these people. So now, when we live in the times that we live in now, you can really press a button and you get all the information about anybody and whomever and audio and video and whatnot. So my last three encounters with and you know what, and for that sake it's really irrelevant which names I'm going to tell you that indeed I went. You click a button and then suddenly a whole world is unfolding in front of you, and uh, and sometimes you kind of hit pause and you say, my God, this is something very familiar. You identify certain things that are things that you find yourself doing, thoughts that you find yourself thinking, and realize that there's so much more in common between you and the faraway reality of those who were considered great and contributed so much that we, our generation, can really have it easy. I mean, at least easier, and achieve incredible heights with the least amount of effort, so to speak, because the conviction of the will and the ability to understand where you're coming from and what it is and how much it is that you have to offer to the process. You know, it's a surety that indeed it's going to click and it's going to return the anticipated achievements as they were properly anticipated. So So in this process, we really find ourselves looking more towards that speaks in the language of stamina. You know, that you're there and you always a little less than half empty. You know, you feel the strength. You feel like you're solid. You feel like you're durable to a certain degree. And but then at the same token, uh, you feel you feel temporary. And even if it's just for the short fractions of times that you can feel that you're eternal, at least that lasts longer than we think when we experience those random moments. Um, but you accumulate the knowledge, the information about who you are while this process is unfolding and taking place, and understanding that the voice, when we speak of a voice, if in any case, it's an inner voice. The voice is an inner voice. So we need to be able to establish and understanding and a level of acceptance. So it will be um, deciphered properly and therefore reach um, a down to earth normal quickly. So, you know, you land running and you blend before you realize that's what you're doing. Uh, the other day, I activated my electric drum machine in electric drum machine, and so I played for about 30 seconds, and then I couldn't tolerate the technology. The sound was the sound of technology, which which is appealing, but but it has zero tolerance really. Bottom line, you can catch it in a good moment. It will give you the indication that it's interested and everything is perfect, and there's just everything blends, and then before you know it, there's just the appearance of the second thoughts and and maybe doubts, uh, maybe suddenly it's not such a good idea after all, and but you reach the degree that when you establish a statement of any kind that suggests that you have conquered a chunk of whatever that is, space of whatever that is, a density of whatever nature might be or not, that will just literally maybe will last you a lifetime. Guarantee of some kind of basic stability that spells the leisure of eternity almost. That little bit that has a fantastic timing and gracefully appearing, tastefully, gracefully, tastefully appearing, sensitive and tuned, tuned to the other. And obviously, what that spells is tuned to the other's needs. And it's just like a fantastic, what did I say? Voices. You hear the voices, you want to snap out of the potential craziness involved in trying to make sense of it all and then making mistakes one after the other. Before you know it, you're down to a point where confusion is like a like a python uh, rolled around you and squeezing the life out of you. But maybe in a gentler way. It doesn't have to be like a terrible death by the strangulation of a python. It can be other things. But we don't want to even think this way because we're celebrating life. And yes, some people say you're celebrating life, you're celebrating death, celebrating life, you're celebrating the day afterlife, and fine, I can accept everything and all this. But then the here and now, even those who are closest to the ultimate power, to the God Almighty, will, I'm sure they will complain if those who are privileged enough to sit next to God, or the ultimate power, whatever name you want to give it, I'm sure they complain about I'm sure they, when they talk to God, they say, well, how come you gave so much power in the hands of these limited, pathetic, irrelevant creatures, i.e., us, human beings? And God would turn and say, don't you dare talk like that about my family, my blood and flesh. And you are just, yeah. But they will try to challenge the Almighty and saying, what, because they know the level of pleasure and power there really is. So when they complain while they are residing in the spirit. They don't understand what earthliness is, what skeleton is, what body is, what food necessity, what deficiency means. Nothing. And then so it's an amazing. Yeah, can I say transformation? Maybe. But at least there's a, a sense of a kind uh, possibility to replenish at any given time when desired. And the allowance to that motion forward, and you know what? When I say motion forward, it's just a form of speech. It can be backwards, it can be sideways. It's just pretty much motion that's going somewhere. Well, let's say forward. So if you're facing north, you north is your forward. If you're facing south or east or west, then all of the above is your motion east, motion south, motion forward, motion backwards, motion upwards. So there is that sense where you have an answer, and then there's always, there's, you're in motion. Your motion itself, you become the actual movement that dictates everything about you, and then you realize you have quite a bit of influence in how things are going to turn out. When you speak of beginning, middle, and end, when you speak of process, when you speak of journey, when you speak to, when you start, you conquer this, you accomplish, and you have the rituals to celebrate, and you'll be one of those that don't want to miss any success. You want at the end of the day to be rewarded, acknowledged, compensated. Sounds pretty good, but it takes a good friend. It takes someone who loves you. It takes someone who cares for you to tell you one day, listen, here's my intake on it all. Take whatever it is that you want to take out of the knowledge I'm going to transfer to you. And they will tell you. But it takes nothing shy of that to open your mind, because obviously we're talking about talented, capable, receptive individuals, intelligent above and beyond. They will know exactly how to take advantage of something when it makes itself available, and implications, and seeing far into the future. And definitely all of them are, I would say, high level chess players, that's for sure. And then when you uh, take it easy and turn around and go into your place of dwelling in a sweet way, I mean it, dwell into the void and get those returns of okay, the humming, the silent, sensitive, soft hum of the remaining of the almost impossibility due to lack of time, and all your achievements reside in that window of opportunity that amounts to be flash of the flash, flash of the flash, flash, flash of the flash, flash, like so. And so you travel through, I don't even want to say speed of light because that would be really cliche, correct? When you travel through the speed, and it carries you in such a way that you always, in a sense, returning to the point of exit. So it's the same speed mixed into one, the forward and the backward, the going and the coming, and you, depending the time of day, sometimes this side will be on the upper hand, so you can see that it's to check its balance is of no difficulty, because gauges are everywhere at any given time telling you where everything stands. So, and wait, let me do just this here. Yeah. Is it water? Then, wow. So, let me see. What am I saying here? Yes. Sweet, sweet. All these sweet drinks. Oh my God. So is it? Let me just make sure. Oh yeah. 50. So, it's like, by the way, this is one of my latest creations, which I love. It's like, when I look at it, I feel like, I feel like, well, I don't know if I should say it even, I, uh, I had some friends, artists, still have them, but more often than not, when I go to the studio, I hear them say to themselves, let's say Joe was talking to himself, he said, Joe, I love you, Joe. I love you for what you do. I really love what you do. And because of that, I love you and I love what you do. And I love you and I love what you do and I love what you do and I love you to themselves. And they're like, creating almost like a buffer that will we're not talking about other people trying to hurt you in any way, shape, or form. It's just other people trying to take something away from you, but not necessarily money or some material or something away from you from for whatever reason. It's not really. I mean, there's so many examples, but it doesn't matter. And you feel like you're really not in the mood to let someone come and take something that's yours and that you treasure and you want to keep. And there is those that are very sophisticated on how they live through life and claim entitlement, which I can actually accept. I can actually understand being entitled. It's like, yeah, if you grow in a certain way, you grow in a certain way. You can create anything in the world if you raise someone to be of that which you want him to be. And there's a technique for everything, and there's a way to establish and to pinpoint and to execute and to whatnot. I mean, you're there. It's not something that can slip between your fingers or something that you won't be able to relate to later or won't be able to make sense of it while you're actually doing it. And there you'll find yourself maybe disrespecting or ignoring or belittling and all. It's okay. It's almost figured out into the equation of the attempt to take that journey, and you happen to be one of the participants, and then we have high hopes. So we have high hopes for you. It's the group of those who are capable that are sitting around the living room table and they watch the screen and they say, "Let's see if he's there. Let's see if he's there." The moment of truth. That's the moment of truth. And then they see you eventually and they say, "We're at ease now, baby, Mother Nature. We're at ease now." And I have this music in the other room. It's okay. See, I just mentioned it. Voices went away. But so what is it? I think is the word experimenting. Maybe you're at the stage of experimenting. So that means you are past the most crucial test. Obviously, you passed it, so that's always a good thing. So you want to repeat yourself. The and you by thinking that the more you repeat it, the more plain it will become. Like I just did this session with you, finding the title to my show, which I thank you for your patience, which we did together. Guys, Guise. Love it. Love it. Love it. Subtitle Dreamlike. Okay, which is in opposition actually to in opposition. Dreamlike in opposition, guys. Guise. So wanted to break through that barrier, and then I found myself in uh, in such agreement with the aspect of the process itself that usually is just almost an impossibility for this to come to life, meaning for this probability to be a fact of life, like as we say, it changes, or you know, when the good thing about us artists is that no matter what state of mind we're in, let's just say whether we're really, in addition to what we are, whether we are assuming that we are active in the studio or wherever we choose to have our our space of creation, and no matter what, the knowingness that we're going to be there daily, every day, doesn't matter how long, but every day we will find ourselves in that zone. So that as a giving gives you such a backup that you know no matter what, you're not going to wake up and find yourself like, where am I, what just happened. It will give you just the right amount of ground to see it coming, and to be able to formulate your reaction, or your and of course almost guarantee your survival. Whatever survival you want to attach to it, whatever name. So so we know that for sure. Now, in addition to that, things can only get better or worse. Man, I cannot think about worse, because it's at its beginning, it's already above plus. Like it starts well. Every time it starts well, and so there's no wondering, there's no second guessing yourself. You're already kind of uh, pretty established as far as which direction you're going, or which things like that. And there's a guaranteed steadiness, and it's almost like you can be told, uh, you have that much given number, you have that much time, that is like hermetically, this guarantee is hermetic. It's like if I give you 12 if I give you 55, if I give you 3 hours guarantee, I mean, these are 3 hours, that 100% for 3 hours. um, because you can find yourself in a scenario where you get 10 hours, but it's like 50% of 10 hours is less you know than 50% of 3 hours. But you becoming aware that you can actually um, evaluate important things while things are happening, while things are in motion, like we said before, and they start making sense of what's really happening. You start to make sense of what's happening, almost listening to the news, sometimes at least, or story unfolding. And certain things you saw it coming, certain you didn't, but the rationale, the logic altogether was actually, it all fit. So it helped you relax enough to let more information in, and educate yourself way above what you usually, or how you usually do, and find yourself in the uh, in that process, steady, solid, down to earth, like I said before, friendly, appealing, pleasant. You know, I just need a moment. So, so that's yes. So that's what I say. Wait. So that's what I say. So when you are in such tightness with, in agreement with, when you put aside all the consider, now I have like 5 minutes because I want to kind of give it something that you can hold on to. So when you get that kind of okay, you assumed, you contemplated, you experimented, you were doing things in this fashion and that fashion, cold and hot and high and low, and so many considerations, a lot of hands-on experiments, a lot of results, without thinking how you feel about it. Good, bad doesn't really exist because for the moment we put it aside because it's just it's a task, it's a mission. And so I think when you get yourself to find yourself at that gate that is literally maybe 98.7% yours by you, with your own direct effort, um, and you know that you're going, and that, I mean, this this I understand because of the sense of familiarity. So I was a part of it, and they're actually acknowledging in the back room my the feeling of it. Okay, so 98.7% accuracy and surety, and then are you? How is it exactly that you're going to approach it? How is it? Well, what there will be zero level of doubt coming to the surface, and there's kind of, when it comes to being very very creative, that kind of execution. When I say execution, being like sense of urgency because you gotta be there. Timing is everything. And then, in the same token, you realize that timing is not everything. All the declarations that sound smart and relevant, maybe now it's just like, okay, but it's just there because reality and the ground itself awaits your acceleration and declaration and expecting from you to change all the time. What is change? Be familiar. All remain familiar. Change always. Remain familiar. Change always. Always change. Remain familiar. So that's a give and take that gives the world out there the license to wonder about you, to wonder about you and about your efforts. Like when I interact sometimes with people, sometimes people come and give me a hug and and tell me, I have been to your last exhibition and I really enjoyed it. It was good. It was good all around. It was well done, well done. Hugs. No talk about art, no talk about too much of anything. This coming from people that are extremely knowledgeable when it comes to art and collectors and whatnot. Big hug. You're going home, if your friend calls you and he tells you, listen, I am sorry, I don't know if it's late or not, but I feel like I have to call you and tell you before all the craziness will unfold. I have been to your show today. It's the, and he went on to say, like, really expressing himself. And I'm on the other end, enjoying, indulging, respecting, uh, taking in, and learning, becoming humble, like, but gaining strength and meeting these sensations down the road 8 hours later at 2 o'clock in the morning when you yourself and you create the answer, you create these questions, you think about the answers, you answer the questions, and while you answer the questions, you create the questions, and the answers will float around until they bump into you, and then you can use it all over again to serve the questions that you put in place while you're actually answering and creating the new ones. That's an awesome reality to be a part of. Because the in the meanwhileness, while you were away, kind of thing. While you were away, what happened? What happened? Did the pile grow? Were the elements that are just fermented constantly, where their needs and their calls and it were answered? And all the entity with the many faces, many aspects and facets that it requires in order to just show a straight face, regular straight face. So you can only imagine what it entails to maintain sophistication and uniqueness and that first class feeling, personal first class. I don't want to say universal because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Personal. You can feel first class in your own eyes about yourself. You must be able to. And you must experience sometimes how it feels to admire yourself without thinking that you're a narcissistic something, whatever. So shallow to think that. Anybody who thinks about narcissism in the way that I see people think, I say, I think, what the heck? Someone, they need, some of them need to be examined a little bit. Maybe there's help out there. Why do I tell you? How do I know? Because I used that help in the past. That means goodwill of people, compassion, so much compassion from the other until you wake up in the morning and you feel that you're a different person because guess what? Compassion fermented within you. Couldn't do anything about it anymore the next day. It had to be shown. It was a fact of life. Suddenly you are a compassionate person. So we're going to be here tomorrow as much as we were here yesterday and as much as we're here this afternoon of Monday, November 27th, year 2023, here with the Hello Hello Show. Getting together for the show, the December show, art show with Josh Dayton, Steve Lotion, and myself. So that's through the second week of January. And the title that we already worked on is Guys. And keep up the good spirits. Thank you for your patience and letting me do all the things that I did. That I loved it, and hope that I'll be able to repeat myself later. God bless. We'll see you soon.